What makes Zendaya one of the rare stars who can move from Disney comedy to prestige drama, superhero blockbusters, fashion history, music charts, and producing credits without looking like she accidentally walked into the wrong meeting? In this video, we are counting 50 public, creative, surprising, and entertaining things about Zendaya's career. You'll hear about the auditions, outfits, awards, roles, dances, records, and small professional choices that built her image piece by piece. Some moments look glamorous, some look intensely planned, and some sound like her calendar needed its own stunt double. But which one best explains how she became Zendaya? Let's start before the sparkles get unionized. Zendaya first reached many young viewers through Disney Channel's dance-filled world, where standing still was basically not in the job description. Before she became known for red carpets and major film roles, her early screen image was built around rhythm, timing, and performance. That made her introduction feel less like a quiet hello and more like someone entered the room with choreography already loaded. It was a bright first step. And Disney wisely put the sneakers where the camera could see them. Zendaya's big Disney breakthrough came when she played Rocky Blue on Shake It Up. The show premiered in 2010 and followed two friends who became dancers on a local television program, which is a very Disney way of saying homework now comes with stage lights. Rocky gave Zendaya a lead role, a regular audience, and plenty of chances to show comic timing between dance numbers. From there, her name was no longer just in the credits. It was in living rooms after school. Zendaya built a public identity using just her first name, which is wonderfully efficient in an industry that loves extra syllables. Her full name is Zendaya Mary Stormer Coleman, but professionally one word did the job. It made posters, music credits, and red carpet introductions instantly cleaner, like her branding had already organized the closet. By the time audiences heard Zendaya, no surname was required. And that is when a name starts behaving like a logo. In 2013, Zendaya released her debut studio album, simply titled Zendaya. It was a clear move from television performer to recording artist, which is not exactly a small lane change. It is more like switching vehicles while still smiling for the camera. The album arrived through Hollywood Records and introduced her pop sound to fans who already knew her from Disney. Instead of only dancing on screen, she now had tracks of her own. And the microphone officially joined the resume. Zendaya's single Replay became her standout music moment and reached the Billboard Hot 100. Released in 2013, the song gave her a signature pop track with a title that practically begged people to press the button again. Its polished dance pop style fit neatly with the performance image audiences already knew, but now the stage was radio and music video rotation. For many fans, Replay was the moment Zendaya's music career stopped being a side quest and started making noise. In 2013, Zendaya competed on Dancing with the Stars season 16 and finished as the runner-up. She was only 16, which made the whole thing feel like a school extracurricular had accidentally upgraded to National Ballroom Warfare. Partnered with Val Ch. Murkowski, she delivered routines that showed precision, confidence, and enough sparkle to confuse a mirror ball. She did not take the trophy. But second place at that age still looks suspiciously like a victory wearing formal shoes. Zendaya returned to Disney Channel with KC Undercover, but this time she had more than an acting role. She was also a producer on the series, giving her creative input while still very young in the business. That is a serious upgrade from just learning lines. Suddenly the homework included story choices and character direction. The show followed a teenage spy, but behind the scenes, Zendaya was also learning how to steer the mission instead of only wearing the disguise. Zendaya has said she pushed for K.C. Cooper to be intelligent, skilled, and capable instead of just another sitcom teenager. She wanted the character to know martial arts, do well in school, and have real competence built into the story. Basically, KC was not there to trip over a backpack and wait for the laugh track to save her. That creative request helped shape the show's lead into someone who could handle spy gadgets and algebra without asking the ceiling for help. Zendaya entered the Marvel world with Spider-Man: Homecoming, released in 2017. Her role placed her inside a global blockbuster machine, which is a slightly bigger classroom than a Disney soundstage. The film starred Tom Holland as Peter Parker and brought Zendaya into one of cinema's most recognizable superhero universes. She did not need to swing from buildings to make the entrance count. Joining that cast was already the kind of leap that requires excellent landing form. In Spider-Man: Homecoming, Zendaya's character was introduced as Michelle, a dry, observant classmate with a talent for appearing exactly when awkwardness was available. Near the end, she casually revealed that her friends call her MJ, giving audiences a clever connection without copying the older version of the character. It was a small line, but superhero fans treated it like a secret door had just clicked open. The reveal worked because the movie waited. Then dropped the initials like a perfectly timed hallway whisper. Zendaya stepped into movie musical territory with The Greatest Showman, playing Ann Wheeler, a trapeze artist in P.T. Barnum's circus world. The role let her combine acting, singing, dancing, and aerial-style performance instead of politely choosing just one talent from the menu. Released in 2017, the film became a major audience favorite and pushed her into a much bigger cinematic spotlight. It was not exactly a quiet career move. It was more like entering a room by swinging from the ceiling. And once she landed, the musical moments got even bigger. For The Greatest Showman, Zendaya did not just point at trapeze and hope movie magic would handle the rest. She trained for aerial work so her scenes as Ann Wheeler would feel more convincing on screen. Interviews and behind-the-scenes features showed how demanding the preparation was, especially with choreography happening above the ground. Most people struggle to look calm on a ladder, while Zendaya was making circus height look like a dramatic commute. That training helped make her next big musical moment feel weightless. Zendaya's duet with Zac Efron, Rewrite the Stars, became one of the standout sequences from The Greatest Showman. The song paired romantic tension with aerial choreography, which is a bold choice because most duets already have enough pressure without gravity joining the meeting. The track also became one of the film soundtrack's most recognizable songs, helped by the movie's huge musical popularity. Zendaya's performance gave the scene both spectacle and softness. After that, her musical film credentials were no longer just a side note. At the 2018 Met Gala, Zendaya arrived in a Versace look inspired by Joan of Arc, complete with shining armor-style detailing. The theme was heavenly bodies, fashion and the Catholic imagination, and her outfit immediately became one of the night's most discussed looks. It turned a red carpet into something closer to a museum exhibit with flash photography. Many people bring accessories to the Met Gala. Zendaya appeared ready to defend the buffet from medieval invaders. The fashion conversation around her was only getting louder. At the 2019 Met Gala, Zendaya turned the carpet into a small stage show with a Cinderella-inspired Tommy Hilfiger gown. Her stylist Law Roach appeared as a fairy godparent figure, and the dress lit up in front of the cameras. The theme was camp, notes on fashion, so theatrical timing was practically part of the dress code. Most gowns need tailoring. This one needed a lighting cue and probably a tiny backstage countdown. It became one of her most replayed fashion moments. Zendaya partnered with Tommy Hilfiger on Tommy x Zendaya, a fashion collaboration that leaned into bold retro glamour. The collection drew from 1970s-inspired silhouettes, tailored pieces, and confident runway energy. It showed Zendaya was not just wearing major fashion moments, she was helping design the conversation around them. Some celebrity collaborations whisper, while this one entered wearing wide legs, strong colors, and zero interest in blending into wallpaper. The project also set up an even more memorable runway statement. Zendaya's Tommy Now show in Paris in 2019 drew major attention for its all-black model lineup. The presentation celebrated Black fashion history and included legendary models such as Grace Jones, Pat Cleveland, and Beverly Johnson. Zendaya helped shape a runway that felt like both a collection reveal and a history lesson with better lighting. It was the rare fashion show where the clothes made headlines, but the casting nearly stole the microphone. The moment expanded her influence far beyond acting and red carpets. In 2019, Zendaya became a global ambassador for Lancome, adding a major beauty campaign to her growing list of professional lanes. The announcement placed her alongside a long-running luxury brand known for fragrance, skincare, and cosmetics. It was another sign that her public image had expanded from screen roles into fashion and beauty partnerships. Some people update their resume with a new skill. Zendaya seemed to add entire industries. Soon after, television would introduce her in a completely different dramatic light. In HBO's Euphoria, Zendaya took on the role of Rue Bennett, marking a major shift into intense prestige drama. The series premiered in 2019 and showed a very different side of her acting from her earlier youth television work. Playing Rue required a quieter, heavier performance built around vulnerability, narration, and emotional tension. It was like watching someone switch from pop choreography to dramatic chess without warning. The role became one of the defining turning points of her career. In 2020, Zendaya won the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series for Euphoria. At 24, she became the youngest winner in that category at the time. The ceremony was held remotely because of the pandemic, so her historic win happened from home rather than a packed theater. Most people have video calls with awkward microphones. Zendaya had one with an Emmy attached. That award confirmed Rue was not just a bold role, but a career-changing one. In 2020, Zendaya won the Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series for Euphoria, and the record books suddenly had to make room. At that time, she became the youngest winner ever in that category, taking home the award at age 24. The ceremony was remote, so instead of the usual stage walk, the historic moment happened from home with a very surprised reaction. It was basically awards night glamour with living room Wi-Fi pressure. That win turned Rue from a major role into a television milestone. 2 years later, Zendaya returned to the Emmys and proved the first win was not a lucky television coin toss. In 2022, she won Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series again for Euphoria. The second victory made her the first black woman to win the category twice. Award shows love suspense, but this time the story had a sequel with a very shiny ending. It confirmed that Rue remained one of the defining roles of her career. Zendaya did not only stand in front of the Euphoria camera, she also stepped into a bigger role behind it. On the series, she received an executive producer credit, showing her growing influence over the work surrounding Rue. That meant the project was not just another acting assignment on her schedule. It was more like being handed the remote control, except the remote controlled emotional chaos, lighting, and prestige television. This marked a clear move from performer to creative force. Zendaya took another creative risk with Malcolm and Marie, a black and white drama built around an extremely small central cast. She starred opposite John David Washington and also served as a producer on the film. The story unfolds mostly through one intense night, which means there was nowhere for the performances to hide. It was not exactly the kind of movie where someone escapes tension by cutting to a car chase. For Zendaya, it became a compact acting experiment with serious spotlight pressure. Malcolm and Marie became especially notable because it was filmed during pandemic restrictions in 2020. The production used a controlled process, a limited location, and a small crew to keep the shoot contained. That gave the film an unusual backstory before audiences even reached the first argument on screen. Most movies worry about weather, budgets, and schedules. This one also had to treat hand sanitizer like a department head. The result was a rare lockdown-era project with Zendaya at its center. Zendaya entered one of modern science fiction's biggest worlds when she joined Denis Villeneuve's Dune as Chani. The film adapted Frank Herbert's famous novel with giant desert landscapes, political tension, and enough sand to make every shoe nervous. Chani was introduced as a key figure from the planet Arrakis, connecting Zendaya to a massive cinematic universe. It was a long way from school hallways and music videos. With Dune, she stepped into blockbuster science fiction on a truly epic scale. In the first Dune film, Zendaya's Chani appeared for limited screen time, but the character still made a major impression. Her presence was woven through visions and key moments, making audiences curious about what was coming next. That is a rare trick: appear briefly, say little, and still become one of the main reasons people wait for the sequel. It was basically the cinematic version of arriving late and somehow owning the room. Chani's mystery helped build anticipation for the next chapter. In Dune, Part 2, Zendaya's role as Chani expanded substantially from mysterious presence to major dramatic force. The sequel gave her more time in the story and a stronger connection to the central conflict on Arrakis. Audiences who waited after the first film finally got the fuller version of the character. It was like ordering a trailer-sized appetizer and then receiving the whole desert banquet. The second film showed how important Chani was to the emotional weight of the saga. Zendaya was part of the main cast of Spider-Man: No Way Home, one of the biggest movie events of 2021. The film became a huge global box office success, earning more than $1.9 billion worldwide. Her role as MJ placed her inside a superhero release that turned theaters into appointment viewing again. Even popcorn probably felt underqualified for that level of hype. The movie became a major box office chapter in Zendaya's already crowded career timeline. Before Spider-Man: No Way Home reached theaters, Zendaya joined the highly watched promotional run for the film. Interviews, premieres, and press appearances helped turn the release into one of the most discussed entertainment events of 2021. The cast had to promote the movie while carefully avoiding spoilers that fans were hunting like detectives with Wi-Fi. It was less a press tour and more a verbal obstacle course. Zendaya helped carry that campaign while keeping the mystery around the film intact. In 2021, Zendaya received the CFDA Fashion Icon Award, a major recognition from the Council of Fashion Designers of America. She became one of the youngest people ever honored with that title. which is not exactly a casual nice outfit compliment. The award recognized how her red carpet choices had become fashion events of their own. At that point, a Zendaya appearance could make cameras behave like they had just spotted a meteor in couture. And this was only the start of her fashion chapters getting even louder. A huge part of Zendaya's public fashion story is her long-running collaboration with stylist Law Roach. Together, they built a red carpet image that felt planned, playful, and very aware of the assignment. Their work turned premieres into mini fashion episodes, where every outfit seemed to arrive with its own drumroll. It is the rare partnership where a garment bag probably deserves a seat at the strategy meeting. And that strategy helped make her red carpet appearances feel like storytelling, not just posing. Zendaya often uses red carpet looks to echo the world of the project she is promoting. During major press tours, her outfits have referenced characters, settings, or visual themes connected to the film. That turns a normal premiere walk into something closer to a very fashionable trailer, just with fewer explosions and better tailoring. The result is promotion that people discuss even before the interview starts. It is a clever way to make the carpet feel like part of the movie. Zendaya has repeatedly worn archival designer pieces, bringing older fashion back into fresh public conversation. These looks are not simply vintage in the thrift store treasure hunt sense. They are carefully preserved designs with real fashion history behind them. When she wears one, the outfit often gets reintroduced to millions of people who were not around for its first runway moment. It is basically a museum loan, except the museum walks past photographers. And it adds another layer to her reputation as a red carpet storyteller. Zendaya's partnership with Valentino produced some of her most recognizable fashion images, especially the vivid pink looks linked to the brand's campaigns and appearances. The color was so bold it did not enter a room quietly. It practically filed its own press release. As a Valentino ambassador, she helped make those sharply styled pink moments instantly associated with modern celebrity fashion. The looks were polished, theatrical, and easy to spot from another postcode. And they proved her fashion identity could be both elegant and impossible to miss. In Challengers, Zendaya played Tashi Duncan, a former tennis prodigy and coach caught inside a tense sports drama. The role moved her into a sharp adult film built around competition, ambition, and very intense glances across a court. Tennis became the setting, but the real match was emotional pressure dressed in crisp athletic wear. It is probably one of the few movies where a racket can feel like a supporting character with excellent timing. For Zendaya, Tashi added a new kind of edge to her screen work. To make Challengers believable, Zendaya trained in tennis movement and technique for the role. The goal was not just to hold a racket nicely, but to look like someone who understood the rhythm and physical language of the sport. Reports around the film highlighted the cast's preparation with tennis professionals, giving the court scenes a more convincing feel. Suddenly, acting practice involved footwork swings, and probably a very judgmental basket of tennis balls. That training helped the sports world of the movie feel lived in. Zendaya did not only star in Challengers, she also served as a producer on the film. That credit continued her move beyond performing and into creative decision-making, where the job includes more than hitting marks and surviving press tours. Producing means being connected to the bigger shape of a project, not just the scenes in front of the camera. It is the difference between playing on the court and also checking the tournament schedule. For Zendaya, Challengers became another step in building influence behind the scenes. Challengers paired Zendaya with director Luca Guadagnino, known for visually distinctive, character-driven films. That collaboration placed her in a filmmaker-led drama, where style, tension, and emotional details mattered as much as the tennis score. The movie used the sport as a pressure cooker, with Guadagnino shaping the matches and relationships into something sleek and restless. Basically, it made a tennis court feel like it needed a therapist and a lighting designer. For Zendaya, it was a major collaboration in a different kind of screen language. Zendaya's work connected to Euphoria also reached the Emmy music categories. She received nominations for original music and lyrics for songs from the series, showing that her contribution was not limited to acting on screen. It was a reminder that her creative range included performance, production, and music tied directly to a character's world. Not every actor ends up in Emmy paperwork besides song credits. That is a very specific kind of multitasking. And it made her Euphoria chapter even broader than many viewers realized. Zendaya once stepped onto a major televised stage to perform Neverland from Finding Neverland, showing a side of her talents that did not need a superhero suit, couture armor, or a dramatic hallway close-up. The performance connected her Disney-era musical background with a more theatrical Broadway sound, complete with big notes and stage polish. It was a reminder that she was not just passing through music like a tourist with a souvenir mug. And yes, the microphone had every reason to feel professionally intimidated. Before Zendaya became a screen regular, she worked as a child model, which meant learning cameras before most kids had mastered matching socks. Her early modeling included work for brands such as Macy's, helping her get comfortable with sets, poses, and professional direction. That experience later made red carpets look less like chaos and more like scheduled choreography. Basically, she had camera practice before the camera even knew it was witnessing a future problem for everyone else's outfit budget. Zendaya's early career also included commercial work, the classic proving ground where young performers learn to smile on cue while adults discuss lighting like it controls the weather. Before Shake It Up made her widely known, she appeared in ads and built practical experience in front of production crews. Commercials may be short, but they demand timing, expression, and the ability to look natural while everything is extremely unnatural. It was a tiny screen classroom with snacks probably just out of frame. Zendaya has often spoken about being from Oakland, California, treating her hometown as part of her professional story rather than a trivia answer hiding at the bottom of a biography page. She was born there, trained there, and has referenced that background in interviews as a grounding influence on her path. It gives her rise a very real starting point, not just a red carpet suddenly appearing from fog. Oakland did not just get a mention. It got permanent billing in the origin story. Zendaya received the Madame Tussauds wax figure treatment, which is pop culture's way of saying, "Congratulations, you are now famous enough to confuse tourists indoors." The figure placed her recognizable image into a museum setting known for immortalizing widely known public figures. It is a strange milestone because the reward for being expressive is getting copied into perfect stillness. Somewhere, a camera flash went off and the wax version handled it with suspiciously excellent patience. Zendaya was named to the Time 100 list, placing her among figures recognized for major influence beyond one single job title. The honor reflected her impact across acting, fashion, producing, and public presence, which is a lot of lanes for one person to keep traffic moving in. Time list is not exactly a casual group chat invitation. It was another sign that her career had moved from popular performer to cultural reference point. With better lighting than most reference points get, Zendaya's appearances on major Vogue covers helped confirm that her fashion presence was not a side quest. It was a full campaign with wardrobe artillery. Her covers connected film, television, and style in the kind of glossy package that makes a newsstand look suddenly underdressed. Vogue has repeatedly featured her as both a performer and a fashion figure, which is basically the magazine equivalent of a very elegant stamp of approval. The camera did not just find her. It booked a recurring appointment. Zendaya's major brand campaigns have shown a carefully built public image around fashion, beauty, and polished storytelling. Her work with houses and brands such as Valentino, Lancome, and Bulgari positioned her in campaigns where every pose, color, and accessory looked like it had passed a very serious committee of elegance. These partnerships extended her visibility beyond screens and into global advertising. In other words, even a billboard had to stand up straighter when she was on it. Zendaya became one of the most followed actors on Instagram, giving her a direct audience far larger than many television networks could casually fit into a conference room. Her account amplified projects, fashion moments, magazine covers, and carefully chosen public updates without needing a traditional press tour every time. That kind of reach turns one post into a small media event with a caption. The follow button did not just follow her career. It brought millions of people along for the elevator ride. Zendaya's work across acting, fashion, music, and producing helped make her one of the rare modern entertainers widely recognized by a single name. From television beginnings to Emmy-winning drama, blockbuster roles, major covers, and producing credits, her public identity became unusually clear and compact. Most people need two names, a job title, and possibly a reminder from someone's cousin. Zendaya just needs one word. And somehow the whole resume walks in behind it like it has its own spotlight. If you liked this content and want to stay tuned for newer celebrity curiosities, please do not forget to subscribe and stay alert to your notifications. Thanks for watching.